Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This week, Magnificent Mark shows his mettle as he flies across the globe to show his respect to one he loved. And then he has a miraculous medical experience. Bob has an anniversary and thinks he can outrun fire. And ghost hunting Wade moves house and has a spicy encounter. From ordering lakes of blood to Ouija boards. Yes, it's time for I Quit, Part 1. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another joyful episode of Distractible. I'm your host today because I won last time, and boy, did I earn it. Boy, did I really do it the hard way. Boy, can I be honest? I'm just going to acknowledge this.
Okay.
This is recorded well after the next couple episodes that are going to come out. I made a horrific mistake. If you're all angry that we didn't have episodes for like a week there, I know everyone was like, oh, we have theories about why this is happening. Oh, it was actually literally my fault. I told the guys I think I told them Wade was supposed to host when I was supposed to host, and we just straight up skipped an episode.
Do you know how many Blame Wade tweets I got just because you put that in your hashtag?
I honestly felt bad about that. Like I did that as a throwaway. I was like, I'll say it's my fault, and then everyone got really angry.
You did. You literally in the tweet, you're like, it's all my fault, and then you put like hashtag Blame Wade, and every comment was Wade did this? That son of a bitch.
It's true.
It's not. You would think after such a long time of that being a constant issue in our dynamic, people going way overboard on being rude to you and shut up, Wade, and all this stuff. You'd think I might remember that that's a problem. No, I just did that without thinking, and immediately everyone was like, "All right, fuck Wade!"
I found it funny, and it helped my Twitter interactions because those still matter, right?
Yeah.
Are you talking about threads?
Threads? You guys want to talk about threads?
Oh God, I haven't made it one.
You already have one because you have an Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do have you have an Instagram, right?
I do.
I don't even know if I follow you. Do you post on it?
I don't know if I follow me. Do you have to follow yourself?
I didn't finish the intro. No one cares. Look, I'm the host. They're the competitors. This is going to be a pretty unhinged episode because it's all my fault. We've been frantically scrambling to try and get together, and we finally did. But there's so much to catch up on. As usual, before we get into the content that's very planned and scripted and well thought out, we're going to do small talk.
So, I do have an Instagram. My last post, I'm pretty sure, was the dessert that Mark never got to taste from.
In October of 2022. That's your last Instagram post. You know what? I'm throwing some rocks from my very big, very fragile glass house. I will...
October 14th of 2022.
Let me look. My last Instagram post was April 3rd of this year.
That's my birthday!
Yeah, I'm not much better. Yeah, I don't even think mine's that recent either. Oh no, it was my hospital post. That's right. That was on my birthday.
Classic Markiplier moment. In the hospital.
Banger engagement. Yeah.
Hang on. I'm going to get a photo of us doing this podcast. Man, that'll go on Instagram eventually, guys. Just wait.
I looked at your phone on your screen instead of my camera. So
yeah, so I've got
great stuff.
Come on, focus.
This is the content everyone's here for. If you don't watch the video on Spotify, you have no idea what just happened.
No, not at all.
It wasn't good, but it was great.
But yeah, anyway, it literally actually was my fault, and I could have explained that all on social media, but I chose not to.
It wouldn't have been a big deal if it just hadn't happened at like the worst time for everything else that's happened.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty bad, unfortunate timing. Mark was in the hospital twice since the last time we recorded.
Yeah, what do I even talk about?
I don't know. Let's just catch up on what the hell happened and how's everyone doing.
So it started out on my birthday, right? We were doing some pickup shots for Iron Lung. So I was working on my birthday already. And it just so happened, in Iron Lung, there's some blood. So also, side note, we might have the world record for most blood in a horror movie.
I saw that. That's kind of impressive.
I need to do some calculations, but I'm almost pretty sure we have it.
That's because there's some horror movies that like the blood. So that's
I
crazy.
know, yeah. And there's a nebulous quote out there that says like the new Evil Dead used 50,000 gallons of blood. And I'm not one to like really call out anyone on weirdly big round numbers.
A jillion gallons of blood.
We are a jillion. But if you know, I looked this up before. I got to look it up again. Like how many gallons in a tanker truck? So you know those milk trucks or gas trucks that like
it's like 10,000, 20,000. I don't know.
It's 11,000 gallons in a tanker truck. That big. The reason I know quantities of blood and how much space they take up is because we had to order a metric fuck ton of blood for the movie. So I know how much space it takes up. And there's a big difference. There's a big difference between taking food coloring and putting it in water and calling that blood and ordering actual like viscous blood.
Human blood.
Real blood, which apparently you can order cow's blood if you want to know that. I looked into that as an option.
I'm going to guess that that's not good to get on or in you so much as the synthetic stuff, though. Yeah.
Our careers have us on some FBI lists with the shit we've searched.
I swear to God, yeah. So it's like I would love for that other movie to have used 50,000 gallons, but that is such a strange round number with no evidence behind it. And even that, with that quantity, we might be really close to that number. And I'm doing the calculations to get there. But it's like, goddamn, it's a lot. When you get into that quantity, it's just like astonishing. Anyway, so I was, we were using blood, and some blood got in my eye. That's not good. So what it did is it dyed my eyes red. It literally just like that's why it was so vibrantly red. It wasn't just like my blood vessels in my eyes. It was literally I got blood in my eye and it dyed it red. That's what that was. And I went to the doctor. The doctor said, "You're fine. It'll go away in a few days." Gave me like an antibiotic to squeeze in my eye just as a precaution. And I thought everything was totally good, right? And then I'm on the way home. Literally when I get back home, I get a call from my mom. That's my mom tells me that my grandma is not doing well. My grandma in Korea is like my last grandparent left. And I said to my mom immediately, "Okay, let's get a flight. Let's get out there." And she's like, "Well, I don't know. I got to take care of the dogs." I'm like, "It doesn't matter. Go put the dogs like in some care center, like immediately the next day. Let's buy like next day flights out." So we got them. It was like, I got the call on Thursday. My birthday was on Wednesday, got the call Thursday, and then it's like I booked tickets for Saturday to go internationally to Korea. And on Friday, I got a call from my mom at 5 that my grandma had passed away. And it's like, holy shit. Like, number one, I'm glad I urged the tickets faster, but number two is like, oh my God, I'm going to Korea tomorrow. So I had to get everything like lined up. That's why, that's the real reason like Distractible like wasn't there, just in case people wanted to know. It's not Wade's fault. It's not Bob's fault. It's my grandma's fault. That's who it is.
We have episodes, though. It is my fault. Like, that's very nice of you to take that. That's a real thing that happened that prevented us from recording this exact episode. Mm-hmm. But we have, like, other episodes after this. We would have been fine.
Okay, let me take the moral high ground here, guys. It is not your fault, Mark. It's not your grandma's fault. Bob, it is not your fault. It's both your faults.
How is it your fault?
No, it's not my fault at all, and I refuse to take blame for it.
Yeah, he's taking the moral high ground. The high ground.
He's on the high ground because it's not his fault.
So it's me and Bob's fault and not my grandma's fault. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I understand. Okay, good.
Well, I don't want to blame your grandma. I feel like that's some karma I don't need. So I'll let you pass the buck on that one.
All right. It's one of those things where like I am actually okay with it now. And I'm not trying to poke fun at it. It's like people lose grandparents and it's not a good time. My grandma, she had not been well for a while. I think she had Alzheimer's, and she was in a good care, but obviously like this was a long time coming. Still hurts just as much to lose because it's my last grandparent, and going there was a surreal experience. So I didn't sleep at all during the flight, and we land and we get a call up family, and they're like, "Are you gonna pick us up?" And they're like, No. We're at the funeral home. Get a taxi to come over here. And I'm coming off of like 24 hours no sleep. Like, what? Okay, that's what it is. And so like it's emotional. I get there and like we arrive. It's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And I lost my suitcase. My suitcase got rerouted to Alaska. So like I was going there with just a backpack, no clothes.
He's flying to a peninsula. Oh, which one? I don't care. Whatever. Send it to Alaska. That's probably the same.
Yeah, so I had nothing. I walk off the plane and I'm like, everyone else going to get their luggage, and I'm just standing next to it like, I wish. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? You got clothes in there? I don't. And I had like my suit in there, and so I brought everything, and my toiletries and whatnot. And so I get to the funeral home, the equivalent of a funeral home in Korea, obviously culturally different. And thankfully they had a suit ready for me right then and there. So I'm like, oh, great, okay. I put the suit on and we immediately go into like the ceremonies. They had already gotten started. And so we're in Korean culture, and my family is predominantly Buddhist. Or like leaning towards Buddhism. And so it's set up in a different way. There's shrines and there's incense and there's bowing. And this is where the strange thing is for me, because I'm half Korean, but obviously I grew up in America. I don't know a lot of the cultural traditions. I know some of them. I've been to Buddhist temples and I've been there to honor my grandfather, stuff like that. But I get there and I'm there and I am the eldest of the children. I am the eldest male child. I'm the eldest of all the children.
That sounds like a meaningful role.
It is, apparently. So suddenly I lead all of the things. I lead them. I have to lead them, and I'm delirious from sleep. And it's okay, because at first it's like, okay, it's the lighting of the incense, it's the pouring of the alcohol, it's like the honoring 3 times, you bow 3 times, and it's like that's part of it. I just go first, and that's totally fine. So we get through all that. It's like an hour and a half of doing that, and then part of the funeral home is also like a restaurant, because it's about like honoring and then eating. And Korean culture, food is extremely important.
Okay, I thought you meant like people were in there like at the restaurant while you're having the funeral in the other half.
You're in like the McDonald's place funeral part, and there's people over having their dinner in the other part.
Sorry, I didn't specify well enough. It's like an area, it's like a cafeteria, not a restaurant.
You hear the ding, and it's like another family comes in for cheeseburgers while you guys are crying.
A guy wanders directly into the middle of your ceremony and is like, the bathroom? I thought the bathroom... No, okay, sorry everybody. I'm gonna go poop now.
It's like 11 o'clock at night, and we're all hanging out, and it's emotional, talking to my cousin Hyungbae, all my cousins, and they have friends there, and family, extended family is there. Like a lot of people I haven't seen before, because it's like extended family. And my family over there is huge. Like I have like 6 aunts, and then like 5 aunts, and then so many cousins all over the place. But predominantly it's like the direct family. But we're there at 11, we talk until like midnight, and I'm so delirious. And so I ask Hyungbae in broken Korean, like, hey, when do you think we're gonna go to bed? And he's like, bed? And I'm like, yeah, when do you think we're gonna go to bed? And he's like, no bed.
No.
No, and he gets my cousin Huyung, who knows English a lot better, is like, and then speaks to him in Korean. But I know a lot more Korean than I did, and I heard some words like vidur. You know a vigil? So they were holding a vigil, which is saying stay up all night and make sure the incense doesn't go out, kind of thing. Which I'm laughing right now because it's like, at the time, I was like, I can't possibly have heard that correctly.
Because you survived, you can laugh about it now.
Yeah, because I couldn't possibly have heard this. Because I hadn't slept for about 36 hours at this point.
Damn.
So I was like, no, just go stay up another 12 hours. And I was so down for it. I was like, for my grandma, I'm down for it. Yeah. I'm okay. Like this is to honor her life, make sure the incense doesn't go out, to guide her soul into the afterlife. Like that's what it's all about. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm doing it. I can do it. Give me some coffee. They got tons of the Korean mixed coffee. It's great. But then my mom comes in and I'm like, I think I'm going to stay here. And she goes, no, as loud as she can, like just screaming in the middle of the cafeteria. You're going to go to the house. You're going to go to bed. And I'm like, what? But I want to stay here. Like, no. And then, my cousins is also like, no, he's the eldest son. He's got to stay here. He's got to do this. And then my mom's just like, no, shut up. You're going to bed. And I'm like, yes, mom. And so I go to bed. I go back home and I go to bed. Which honestly, thank goodness, because I was literally not even knowing my own name at that point, because it was just like, it's like you wake up in a fever dream and you're just like in a different country and you're just suddenly bowing in front of a portrait of your grandma. And it's like, it's just lighting incense and you wave 3 times and you bow 2.5 times, not 3, 2.5. It's just like, it was a very surreal experience. And then the next day I discovered I had an ear infection.
What the hell?
So some of that blood, it didn't just get in my eyes, it got in my ears.
Oh, good Lord.
But I forgot about the ear part. So I wake up and I'm leading the whole thing because I got to carry the portrait. And you got to put gloves on for that. You got to carry it a specific way from the bottom. All this, like, I did not know. And all the while, my ears are just exploding. Like, there's more pain is like jabbing into my ears. Like someone that has two nails and they're just digging around in there.
Oh, and you flew with that too.
Yeah, so I think the pressure definitely forced some of the blood down further, which made it worse. And this is where I discovered the glory that is the Korean medical system.
Ooh.
So we get done with all the rest of the ceremonies. We go to the crematorium, we bury the ashes, we do more ceremonies, and then it's over about 4:00. And they're like, okay, the doctors call the hospital, they call it Byungwon, like it's actually hospital. It closes at 6. So we are like, okay, we got to get over there. I get there at 5, right? I don't have like access to their single payer system. So I have to pay the exorbitant fee of $50 to get full comprehensive treatment.
To get inside the door?
To get everything. So I get in there at 5. At 5:05, I am being seen by an ear, nose, and throat specialist. There's a camera in my ear at 5:06 looking at the blood in there. I walk out the door from the ear, nose, and throat specialist. You know, the guy you'd have to wait like 2 days.
You'd see 3 months after your initial. Yeah, no, sure.
The third person you see because they take you to like something else to get x-rays
I
first.
swear, we walked in there and my cousin was like, oh no, I give him my passport and like I'm an American citizen. And they're like, okay, we're going to go up to the 5th floor. It's like, okay, I don't know why. Oh, because that's where the ear, nose, and throat department is. And you go and walk in and it's like, I didn't know. I thought it was like rooms, like it was a bunch of small rooms, like, you know, a hospital room. You go and you sit on the table and you wait. No, open the door and there's like a full ear, nose, and throat setup. A doctor waiting there, typing on a computer. And he's like, yeah, please sit down. Shoves a cane in my ear right away. Walk out of there 5:15 with a prescription. Walk downstairs to the pharmacy where we walk in at 5:17 and they fill my prescription in 2 minutes.
What?
4 different medications in 2 minutes.
This is the part that sounds like a fever dream to me.
It was stunning.
You know it takes at least 3 hours to put pills in a vial.
So I don't know a lot about your family or where they live, but this is not like some gigantic in the heart of the city medical complex where there's like hundreds and thousands of staff members. This is just like a normal doctor facility out near like where your family
my
lives.
family lives in Pocheon, so they live about an hour out of Seoul. It's not a small city, but it's on the smaller side.
It's kind of like suburban almost.
Yeah, it's like it has suburbs and then its own downtown. It's probably like a 50 to 100,000 people kind of city.
But so this is not some like sprawling medical center where this is just the doctor's office in the city.
One city block. It's like, in Cincinnati, you go to the medical plaza. That's what this is. And I'm in and out with my medication, my diagnosis. The doctor treated me as well, also cleaned out my ears, gave me eardrops in 20 minutes for $50.
So how much money did you spend in total? $50 for the doctor. What were your prescriptions?
Plus 20 for the prescription. $20.
You spent $70 to see a specialist and get 4 prescriptions filled in under an hour. You were in and out.
Under half an hour.
That's the most insane shit I've ever heard. Like, what the hell?
And you have to go call in your prescription and wait either 2 hours or till the next day to get the meds.
I know, and just all my escapades with CVS like blow my mind.
And this is no coverage, right? You have zero coverage in this country.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is without insurance.
This is uninsured. This is just paying the premium for whatever they charge you. Is in America, that's thousands of dollars. And weeks. And like 8 doctors, and then,
At least 2. At the very minimum, you probably are seeing at least one person before you see a specialist. You're going to an urgent care or something.
It was just so efficient, too. I was not the only person in there. In the waiting room, there was like maybe like 7 or 8. If I go into an emergency room, and I've been to a few, and there's 7 to 8 people there, I know I'm waiting 2 hours.
Yeah, you're in for hours. We took early on with the baby, he had kind of a fever one night, and so we were like panicky parents and took him to the ER. There were 3 or 4 people ahead of us. We were at the ER for 6 hours. And he saw the doctor for 20 minutes because the doctor looked at him and was like, he fine. And then we left. And that cost us more than you paid there.
I know.
I think we spent $1,600 for an ear infection for Molly at an ER. and the doctor spent all of 3 minutes with her after we waited an hour and a half to see him.
I feel like we're focusing on the part that is least personal and important in the bigger picture. This is all not to discount how the ceremony and everything.
Of course, right.
Yeah.
It sounds like a nice way to honor, a person's life. But man, that medical stuff blows my mind.
It's unbelievable.
I know, right? I know.
I also I'm imagining, I don't know if you even had to explain it. I love the idea of you kind of speaking Korean, but not having the language maybe to tell a Korean doctor, like, yeah, the blood in there is fake blood from like a movie set.
Oh, he spoke English.
Oh, he just spoke perfect English. It was fine.
So
You didn't. Oh, well, that's not funny.
Change the story.
Come
Change the
on.
story.
Well, it's like he did look in my ear, goes like, "What the fuck is?" He didn't say that, but he said the Korean equivalent of that. It's like jelly in there. It's like it really was, and I just like it was stunning. Like every part of that. We go back to my family's house over there, and we eat. That's the other part of the ceremony. Is just we eat until we pass out, and we did. But I'm doing quite well. It was great to have that closure. I'm glad we could be there. I saw some family that I haven't seen for a very long time, and just like, yeah, it's never good losing a family member, but it's like, with this, I actually do like the way the Korean ceremonies were. It was extremely like honoring of the memory, and everyone was there, and everyone was able to get their emotions out and get their closure. And it was just very, very good.
Yeah,
I just liked it a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're able to make it too, despite 2 hospitalizations and everything, and having to go back. I mean, the whole reason you were even in Texas was to reshoot some stuff, right? So it was like,
yeah, we got everything we needed.
Extra task on top of all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
it was more pickup shots than anything. We didn't reshoot anything. It was just like some extra stuff we knew we needed.
I mean, so what? You saw the doctor on like Sunday evening, basically, or something?
I got there Sunday, so they would have been Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of that was within like 5 or 6 days, basically.
Yeah. Usually we record these episodes and it's like a week or 2 ahead. This is like, when you hear this will have been within a week.
And we are currently sitting within like 10 days of your birthday almost.
Happy birthday, me!
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
And happy anniversary, Bob. Hope you had a less exciting time.
We went out to lunch.
Yeah. And Wade, happy that future horrifying event that's going to occur.
Thanks, man. Well, that was really good small talk. I guess I don't really have much to add.
Yeah, what's new with you, Wade? What kind of match that? Mark gets points for such a dynamic life he leads. That's deserving of so many points.
We moved into the new house, which the next few episodes won't have been in. So
they will be in.
Wait for the quality to go up next time. We had company come stay with us for a week, 3 days after we moved in. We got new computers. We got a generator installed. So 4th of July, I went over to my mom's, and my family came over, and we had like a little get together for 4th of July. And we had a weird event where we were sitting around talking, and one of my like mom and sister's dogs went and like was chewing on. They grow like their own like herbs and vegetables and stuff in their backyard. And the dog went and like started chewing on one of those. And like mid-sentence, like we were talking to my mom and my sister, my mom just starts yelling, "Jalapeno, jalapeno, jalapeno." And we're like,
okay.
We were talking about like cameras, Mom. What the hell? What just happened? And she's like, "Well, it's hot." I was like, "Excuse me?" It's what we yell to the dogs to get them to stop eating stuff they're not supposed to, because jalapenos are hot. And I was like, you trained them on the jalapeno, a 4-syllable word, to tell them to stop or hot? And they're like, well, no, we didn't train them. So why do you yell jalapeno?
Guess the dog knows jalapenos are spicy, and the dogs don't like spicy food.
But the dog doesn't know jalapeno. It's just as fucking shocked as we are that my mom goes from talking calmly and normally to screaming jalapeno like she's being murdered in the backyard.
We trained our dog to react to me screaming nonsense words out of nowhere very hysterically. It always works.
Because it's just so shocking. My mom would be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. You know, jalapeno." And I thought she was being possessed by a demon, because did we do an episode since I went ghost hunting?
No.
Wait, you went ghost hunting?
Yeah,
no.
I
did go ghost hunting. I don't know if that video will be out yet. We're actually waiting on a cameo from a expert in the field to fully edit the video. Look forward to that. But I went ghost hunting down at Bob Mackey's, which is in Newport, Kentucky. It's like a bar that has a history of like being owned by the mob and people being interrogated in the basement and other such events. We went down there and filmed some stuff, and nobody would do the Ouija board with me except for D-Live. Everybody was afraid. Like even non-believers were like, Ouija board, which I don't get it. What is so special about a Ouija? Like you'll get a spirit box. You'll be like, ghost, show yourself. Pinch me.
Suck my balls, ghost.
Punch me, ghost. But if you touch a Ouija board, you're like, what is your name? They're like, oh, don't ask that. Not on a Ouija board. And the Ouija board like says fucking Parker Brothers on the bottom, so it's a goddamn kid's toy. But for some reason, it's the scariest ghost hunting device, and I don't understand it.
It's cause they're real, Wade. Okay, the rest of that stuff is technological gooble gobble. Ouija boards are made of wood and like plastic and glass and whatever, and it's just real. It's just the spirits reaching out and sending you a message, okay?
People are walking around with their holy water, their cameras, their EMF readers, all the other devices, and they're like, ghost, pinch me, throw a table at me, do something. And I'm like, what year were you born? They're like, oh, you fucking fool, that's a Ouija board. So we wrap up and we're coming home, and I was like, hey, can you guys carry this out? I was like packing up equipment. I was like trying to get someone to carry the Ouija board. And no one would touch it. My sister went with this, and she was like, I'm not taking that back home with me because it was their Ouija board. She's like, you can have it. So I brought the Ouija board back, and now I own a Ouija board that everyone thinks is possessed by a demon. And when my mom started fucking screaming jalapeno, I was like, oh my God, they were right. She's possessed.
You look over at the window, and the Ouija board is pressed up against the window, and the thing is just frantically pointing at yes. The Ouija board is all yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. But that was the only thing that could possibly have explained jalapeno until she was told me what the hell was going on. But ghost hunting, man, is it more expensive than I thought? And it's like 4 or 5 hours of being in a very uncomfortable building, uncomfortably with not much happening.
You make it sound so fun.
Okay, well, you could make it fun. You don't have to sit there and be unfun.
We could have pretended and shit. I think one of my friends did.
I have a dream of us filming an episode of this in a haunted location and doing like, Cryptids Part 2 or something. But like,
I have one requirement if we do. I don't want to go to a dilapidated building or something like condemned or like sketchy, because the basement of Bobby Mackey's, part of the floor, they're like, this is the gateway to hell. It was like a bootlegging tunnel that's so ill-maintained, it's like collapsing on itself. And they were like, don't go stand there unless you really want to. And it's like, no, I don't want a fucking broken ankle. I'm not going to stand there.
I don't think modern air-conditioned spaces are haunted, Wade. I think that's sort of part of the...
But they could at least repair the floor.
Look, if you could disturb the ghosts, okay? If the thing is that it's a haunted space, you don't want to do anything that's gonna...
Ah, that's true. Ghosts hate carpenters. It's a known fact.
That they do.
Yeah, obviously.
Bobby Mackey's is a bar that functions on Friday and Saturday nights. So a bunch of like people go down there and become drunken assholes. They're like, the ghosts don't mind that. But they're like, this floorboard's collapsing on itself. Now we couldn't possibly touch it or the ghost might be disturbed.
Are you familiar with ghost behavior? Throwing things across rooms, knocking things off of walls, slamming doors. Ghosts are here for shenanigans. They love drunk people.
I sat under things. I was like, you can collapse this whole shelving unit on me. Throw this cue ball at me. Punch me in the dick. Bite me in the dick. Do something, ghost. I'll regret it, but at least I'd have some evidence of something. And, well, my friends had some evidence. They claimed I've got to look through the footage and see what they got, but I got fucking nothing. Apparently, they don't like bald middle-aged men or something.
Maybe your pessimistic attitude scared him away.
Yeah, maybe it's more that one. Maybe it's your non-believing. If you actually were afraid of a Ouija board, they might be more into you.
And your avant-garde Ouija board usage.
Yeah, maybe it's because you got a cheap Parker Brothers one and not an actual authentic.
I thought that was authentic. Is there a brand of authentic Ouija board?
Real Ouija boards are hand-hewn by Monsieur Ouija himself, obviously.
They only come from the Ouija part of France.
Yeah, everyone knows that. You were using a sparkling board. That joke really landed.
It's the same board that we use for Drowned Man.
Oh, well then it works.
Yeah, that's extra cursed.
So you're gonna burn that house down now that you moved into the new one?
The fiery man!
I don't want to be the fiery man. Please don't wish that upon me.
Yeah. No. What other disaster is funniest? What disaster would be funniest to befall you?
The gas leak man.
Yeah!
No, dude, I just had propane work done. Don't wish that upon me.
The carbon monoxide poisoning man!
The bad grading man. All the water's gonna drain right up against your foundation.
Oh!
Your basement's gonna be so moist.
The sinkhole man!
Ooh, that sounds dangerous.
Ooh, no. Oh, the other ones are safe?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I don't like any of this shit, for the record.
You know what's gonna be cursed is your car. You ever get a car, that's where it's gonna be.
Well, I've beat them to the punch. If you don't have one, they can't curse.
The semi-man.
The crashed man. The crushed man. Well, that sounds violent.
Oh yeah, the fired man sounds so less violent.
But you can run away from a fire if you're
Yeah.
if you're crushed. What are you gonna do? Uncrush yourself? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, all the people that have died in fires, they just didn't run fast enough.
Yeah, idiots. Obviously, you just run away from it. Fire can't be that fast.
Silly.
Hey, speaking of houses we used to live in, we sold our house during the interim there.
Wow.
And man,
But you look so the same location.
yeah, no, we don't move for a while, but it's
Your lighting's great though.
yeah. Well, I had to take I had windows up here that used to be covered, and I had to take the covers off because we're showing the house to people, and it looks so much better this way. I could have had it this way the whole time. I'm stupid though.
Do you want to see what I've got?
Unless you're outside, I think everyone knew it was gonna be a wall.
Fuck.
You know what else that I've done that has changed my life forever?
Bought a couple lights and put them right behind you and shot.
I am now an Apple and Mac guy!
Oh, weren't you already?
Friendship with Windows is over!
Aren't you on a Windows computer right now? Okay, never mind. Aren't you on a Mac Pro right now?
Don't you have a quote on Steiger Dynamics website that's like a month old? It's like, I will never buy a computer from anywhere else. You're their mascot.
Shut up.
Why are you an Apple man?
Okay,
sir,
so
what happened? Why did this change your life?
You know, I've had all those Thunderbolt problems and like...
You mean how you don't understand the simplicity that is the USB universe? Sure, go on.
Turns out, you know, what Apple is saying about how like it's really good for creative quote unquote things. What they didn't say about that is that if you just use a Mac and you connect to your NAS, which you've been bashing your head against the wall about trying to get full speeds through your 10 gigabit, you know, local network, and it's not getting 10 gigs down. It's not even getting close to getting 700 megs read speed on an SSD NAS. And you ask yourself, why is that? But turns out if you just plug a Mac into it, it goes full speed and you don't do a thing.
Wow.
Turns out that the new ones, the processors, I could have been editing on my laptop this entire time and I could have done 8K raw on my laptop.
Really?
All the problems you had.
Pretty surprising, but also somehow less surprising than it seems like it should be. So yeah, so you're literally going to edit, you're going to edit the movie on a MacBook now?
No, I bought a Mac Studio. I bought a last generation one because there's delays on this one. But I'm trying to schmooze my way into some good deals. So
yeah.
I'm a big fan of Apple now.
You know how they like to sponsor people and just toss stuff around. Apple needs the exposure.
Look, if there was a use case for it, because I don't know if they need like people to spout out how great they are, like a Windows user converting, because I still am going to use Windows, but it's like, holy crap. My eyes were actually open because I'm like, these new processors they're making are actually good for my specific job, except for the recording part. Obviously, I need to play games and a lot of them are Windows only, but it's like for specifically the editing part of everything, holy crap, it does work. So I quit Windows. Wasn't that the name of this episode? I quit Windows.
We didn't get to that, but yes.
Right.
Nice segue, Mark.
Aha!
38 minutes into the episode. Look, we might not even talk about the topic. I do have a topic, but we just had so much to catch up on. We needed to have a discussion. Technically, the topic, and I guess the title of this episode is I Quit. Because I was going to ask you guys if you had any funny, quitting stories. One of my current obsessions online is I read on Reddit and other, wherever it's posted, social media places, people's funny stories about quitting, right? Where the quintessential one is like, I scheduled time off. I'm off this weekend. It was just the 4th of July in the US. So it's like I scheduled off so I could be with my family for 2 days. I scheduled this months ago, and my boss texted me the day before and was like, hey, I'm going to need you to work tomorrow. And the person, they always start the same, right? The boss says that, and the person's like, oh, I actually have scheduled time off. You approved that, back in April or whatever. And the boss is like, yeah, well, I'm unapproving it. So I'm going to need you to come in tomorrow and the next day. Sorry, no time off. I'll be there too. So, and the person is like, well, I'm out of the state visiting family, so like I'm not coming in. And it always escalates. I don't know what it is with managers, but it always escalates through like, oh, well, you're going to come in or I'm going to fire you. And then the person is just like, all right, fuck you. I quit. This is awful. I hate you so much. But like, I love that. There's so many stories of that. That's just so satisfying. And I was just curious if you guys had any like.
Before we get into it, if we're getting into the topic 40 minutes in, isn't this going to be like a 2-hour episode?
I was just going to let you each tell like one story and then end it.
I only have one.
But if we only have one, then we can be really efficient about content, and we can make an I Quit 2. People love the people.
That's
when
true.
we made Weird 2,
you're right.
People were so about it.
Universally loved, except by all those people who didn't.
I don't know who they are.
They loved it though.
They loved it. So we could declare a winner based on the person that said most and had the coolest interesting stories. And
I think I've aged 30 years in the last 20 seconds.
No, you know what? I'm going to stop you right there, Mark, and I'm going to say that's the end of the episode.
Yes.
We introduced the topic. We're not going to talk about it. If you want to hear about stories about quitting, you're going to have to listen to I Quit Part 2. And that's not going to be the next episode because that one already exists and it's something else. But I like everything that you said, Mark, except for one part, and we'll get to that. But I agree with you. We should definitely give points and decide the winner based on who said the most. I think that makes a lot of sense. Also, maybe who had the most compelling, trying, and personally challenging time over the last week or so since we've really talked to each other. If there were any, I don't know, any heavy stress or any big moments, life events, things that just, it all factors in. And if you really look at it, I think there's a clear winner. You look like you're expecting something, Mark.
I got a bad feeling all of a sudden.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, except for one thing. And despite the fact that you're the clear winner and also you deserve it, and also I want to give it to you because it's just like a nice gesture, and I want you to have that. Wade already hosts the next episode.
Oh my god, am I getting a fucking I have to win?
So, despite the fact that Wade, sort of was just a passenger here, and this was very much a Mark Vessel episode, I think we all know that the winner already is Wade.
Well, they don't, because the episode doesn't come.
No, we talked about that.
But before I start getting hate for this win and the pity for Mark comes in, just remember who told Wade he was hosting the next episode. He's sitting in a purple fucking throne of lies.
I feel like.
What if I give you a delayed win, Mark? What if I go into debt here? Wade has to take this victory, but what if I promise you the next time I host, you win no matter what, so you get an obligatory win. Hopefully Wade has an absolute banger of an episode, and then you win despite that, and then it will really balance out.
I'm taking a vacation day. Do I get that shit?
No,
God damn it.
Oh, sorry.
I quit.
Wait, that means that Mark wins I Quit Part 2, I guess, technically. The next episode's already done.
Yeah!
Well, that's not the next episode, but my next hosting episode, maybe? I don't even honestly remember. This is a real puncture to the fourth wall of the Distractible universe here, I gotta be honest.
I think that this somehow is both extremely fair and extremely unfair. I think it both honors my family and dishonors them. Hashtag blame Wade.
Hashtag blame Wade. Everything can be summarized in one very succinct and completely
If you fuckers are going to spam me with hashtag blame Wade, at least reply to one of my fucking tweets so I get the goddamn interaction for it.
I get so much interaction off of people being mean to you, Wade.
You know what? I'm preemptively tweeting for replies to next Distractible episode. Put your thoughts here, future watchers.
Congratulations to Mark on a moral victory and a guaranteed future success. More importantly, in this moment, congratulations to Wade for me being completely incompetent and forcing you to incorrectly host the next episode, leading to a whole sequence of events that ultimately led to Distractible taking a week off. I take the blame. I know I put it on your shoulders on Twitter, Wade, but I take the blame. And I will give you the honor of winner speech, even though you really, really didn't earn it this time.
I both feel like I'm being honored and dishonored by the words you're using.
No, I'm pretty sure it was mostly positive, right? Give your winner speech. Come on, buddy.
Don't quit on your dreams, because someone in your life might fuck up bad enough to grant you a temporary win.
It's not temporary. It's just empty and hollow. It's permanent.
Well, thanks, man. I'll put that tally on the empty and hollow win list.
There's a lot of those.
Okay, we could just not.
If it wasn't both chaotic and insulting, would it really be an episode that I hosted? Isn't that my entire thing these days? That's all I got.
I wish I could quit, but I will be here because I'm either contractually obligated or I'll forget about all this stuff because I have a bad memory. One of the two.
Congratulations. Mark, I want you to give what is realistically a loser speech, but what I'm going to call a future winner's speech.
Because that's what I am, a future winner. I think it's very clear where Distractible as a group's morals and opinions stand, and I think that everything that we've said today, we can stand by for the rest of our lives with our heads held high and our dicks out. And I applaud our efforts to stay the course in our own moral victories, which I have both that and future victories. Thank you for your time. Love you, Grandma.
Well, I can't be mean to you now because that was like a sweet thing to add on there, so fuck you.
That felt mean. All right, no, you know what? Excellent speeches both. Congratulations, both current and future winners. And yeah, that's what an episode. I wish I wasn't the host who was known for episodes that derailed so badly that they embarrassed me in the actual moment we were filming them. But what can you do?
Hey, welcome to being the asshole. I've spent 10 years in that role, Bob. Enjoy it for a week.
Well, it's been more than a week, but I'll take it. That's the end of the episode. Make sure you get some merch. There's definitely merch restocked at this point because people have been ordering it and getting it. It's out there.
Fuck, I need to get
It's a
some.
thing.
I have bought 0 Distractible merch.
I'm not going to promise it didn't immediately go back out of stock, but if you you may have had a chance.
Is it store?
Yeah, store.distractablepodcast.com. That's the place. And make sure you check out Mark at Markiplier. Wade is Lord Minion 777 or Minion 777. Then, they do stuff online. I am MySkerm, Bob, Mark's friend, whatever you Google, it'll come up. That's the end. While Mark and Wade order some merch, I'm just going to say the thing. Podcast out.